From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Yum Hunav Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Yum Hunav Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Yum Hunab Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Soul Purpose Healing, where we get to the root of the problem and bring up solutions for now, for 2026, for today. Thank you for joining me this beautiful Sunday, June 21st, 2026. We're rotating in the number 1. For those of you who are new here, we always look at the language of the universe, which is numbers everywhere. Your phone number, your birth date, everything. It speaks to us as a language from the universe. And so today it is a 1, which indicates unity. We're getting into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and purpose tonight. Love, compassion, and purpose, divine purpose. Why are we here? And so let me welcome the village, because that's why I'm here. I belong to a tiny house village where we are thinking more about minimalism and how to thrive and be successful and in peace in a small environment. Here's just a little journey of my tiny house reminders for the
The cook put it in high. The cook put in high. En ha kabos en lis ora corona cook recus card en ha. The cook put it in high. The cook put in high. I look deep my dress with mad push allow. On the back with magical type.
So come on in. You're welcome. And tonight, I just had to do a part 2 from my Friday show where I talked about Juneteenth, the celebration that many people had over this weekend. And I talked about conflict resolution. Why do we need a part 2? Well, I have been listening to several attorneys, men especially men. I haven't seen any women. Men who have been practicing law for many years. Most of these men have been in this legal field for over 10, 15, 20 years, some of them. And their analysis of the Karmelo Anthony situation has not changed. Even though this video came out and people that we were all waiting for to, shift our understanding about whether this young man should spend 35 years in prison. So this new video came out, and we still have people want to debate and say, well, he doesn't deserve to go to prison at all. And I'm of the opinion that 35 years seems a little bit harsh. But when I listened to these attorneys, they were all saying the same thing as a solution: conflict resolution, that our youth need to practice conflict resolution. This was unanimous all through YouTube land and videos that I watched of these attorneys and people giving their analysis, the professionals. Now, regular YouTubers, some of them are still insisting that this video was altered and the jury should have been a whole black jury and all this. But the attorneys were unanimous in their solution and final word that we need conflict resolution. That's what the problem is. These young people, and we're talking about boys, fighting, angry, going at each other, and not knowing how to breathe, take a moment, step back. And as I mentioned on Friday, 4 things that are key to develop conflict resolution are self-awareness, communication skills, emotional regulation or emotional intelligence, and genuine desire to resolve. Those 4 things came out on Friday in my video. So today, yesterday, I went to the beach. Oh my goodness, had an amazing time at the beach. I stayed in that water with my grandson for at least an hour or more. We had lunch on the beach, my son and my granddaughter. And then the clouds moved in and we had to move out. So it was just a beautiful, relaxing, peaceful time on the beach. But on the rest of that day, I discovered another Michael Jackson song that I had never heard before. Stranger in Moscow? Where'd that come from? Well, that was part of one of his albums, either I think History album or Dangerous album. Maybe some of you would know that he put that song on in that album, or that was part of his tour to Moscow. That music touched me so much. I had healing all over my body. I had a pain in my ankle, went away. I listened to that song, that music over and over again, and I couldn't stop moving. It was just something about the vibration, the energy of this song that I'm going to play with for you. But first, I want you to hear how this song was created, because this is so important when we talk about conflict resolution. Many of our young people are listening to music that is so low vibrational that it's creating more conflict within them. This is what I'm seeing and hearing. If you rap music, of course, it's definitely a low vibrational beat when you're talking about bitches and hoes and niggers and all that. That's obvious. But I'm talking about some of the subtle pop music out there that we have no idea how that song was created and what the intention was for the listeners that would take on this music. So tonight, I want you to really think about, what are you listening to? What are you putting into your psyche? What are you putting into your soul? Because the music that kids are listening to today is creating more conflict within them, is what I'm seeing. And after listening to this Stranger in Moscow, I'm like, whoa, this is a powerful, powerful energy that he's putting out here. So we're going to do some little therapy with this music tonight, because I think it's really key that whatever events that you go to, you be very discerning, be very careful about what's going in your ears. This is serious times about energy vampires and capturing our soul attention, our attention, and taking us under and out of here. Because the powers that should not be, I'm not going to call them the powers that should not be, have an agenda. Is to reduce the population. That's conspiracy theory, if you can think of it, whatever. But there are certain groups of people who are ignorant, psychopathic, narcissistic, who don't want some of us here. The chosen ones, the conscious ones, we are being targeted by the energies of the elite to reduce our influence and move us into a place of neutral action, neutral power. So this music that Michael created out of his pain, he created it to bring healing. First to himself, I believe, because he was in a place of attack and hate in his life and all the accusations. And I want to play for you the story behind this music, which you should know about everything you're listening to, really. Because again, the 428 hertz you hear about, 528 hertz, whatever the numbers are, remember, numbers are the language of the universe. And if you're listening to music that is a low vibration, low hertz, then it's going to affect your communication with the cosmic order of the universe that is on your side to help you thrive, that wants you to be in a loving, compassionate, peaceful existence on this earth. And too many people out there are creating, quote, music to do the opposite, to lower your vibration, to bring sickness into your life, and certainly not to help you heal. So I want you to please listen to this history of the song Stranger in Moscow. And then I'm going to play for you with a disclaimer, because I got to play this. When I saw Michael performing this song, oh my goodness, I had to play it over probably about 10 times. I could not stop moving, and the vibration, the energy of it was just so healing for me that I have to share it with you. But here's a little history of how this song was created, so that you know behind the intention of it was certainly to bring healing and not harm. So this is it's called The Haunting Story Behind Stranger in Moscow.
Stranger in Moscow isn't just another MJ song. It's one of the most emotionally raw pieces he ever wrote. He penned it alone in his Moscow hotel during the Dangerous tour, feeling isolated despite being the most famous man on earth. That's why he called himself a stranger in Moscow. Released in 1996, this slow R&B ballad, about 65 BPM, captures deep sadness, fame, alienation, and heartbreak from being misunderstood. The haunting lyrics, "Here abandoned in my fame, Armageddon of the brain," show how the king of pop felt trapped by the world's spotlight. The medial review? Pure art. Everyone moves in slow motion under pouring rain, a cinematic symbol of pain and cleansing. It's Michael showing vulnerability, not moonwalking, but soul walking. Critics later hailed it as one of his most underrated songs ever, and fans call it his rain therapy anthem. Stranger in Moscow proves that even a superstar can feel unseen, but still turn loneliness into timeless beauty. The king didn't just make hits, he made emotions you could hear. Affirmative CTA. True artistry never fades. The king of pop lives through every. Stranger in Moscow isn't just another MJ song. It's one of the most emotionally raw.
So, did you hear the description of the number 165, the number 65, which is 11 BPM? That's the vibration of the music that was created. 11 angelic music. That's it's 65. Anything when you see 11, that's a clear message from angels are here, present. Pay attention. Don't ignore. So he brings that out first, and then he said he turned loneliness into timeless beauty. perfect description of what we're going to hear next. And when you think about the music that most people are listening to has whatever BPM, I don't know what the numbers are, but if you don't feel it in your very being, in your soul, then there's probably something in this music that it's not going to heal for sure, and it may not raise your vibration, and it may bring more harm than healing and beauty. As he said, loneliness, he turned his loneliness into timeless beauty. So I want you to just take a deep breath. And maybe if you've heard this song before, great. Then I want you to just observe how Michael embodies this song's energy and the music. And in this particular concert in Moscow, with a sea of white faces worshiping him as usual, because of the vibration, the 65 BPM does that to a crowd. It just puts them in awe. People faint. That's what he was all about. But when you listen to the vibration of this music, ask yourself, how do I feel? Because that's what he repeats over and over. How does it feel? And the message today for fathers, for the male testosterone in male or female bodies, is how does it feel? If we're going to create, transform the energy in our youth, in their environments, we got to ask ourselves, how does it feel? How does it feel to be confronted by other youth who don't like you? How does it feel when you're the only one in the crowd who's singing, or you're the only one in the crowd who stands out as different? How does it feel? That's what he asked in this song over and over. And there's these three amazing male voices in the background echoing this, how does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? So as I was listening to it, I'm like, wow, this is such a message for us today to promote conflict resolution in a way that says, how does it feel? Whenever you're in a conflict situation, how does it feel? Because your body is going to tell you first whether the conflict is real or not, or imaginary or whatever. I got into somewhat heated argument the other night on a Zoom call with some folks from Chicago about Juneteenth, and then it got into the traumatic events that had happened. Not traumatic, well, yeah, dramatic events that had happened in some of the people's lives with their children, whatever. And I was listening and I was just thinking, oh my goodness, that we got to take this to another level. And so my comment after listening was, you're not a victim, though. Really, what happened in that situation was an opportunity for you to find gratitude in it and to ask yourself, what is the lesson? That didn't go well, because some people just want to stay in victim mode. They don't want to be triggered, which is what I do very well. Trigger warning, trigger warning. I do that so well. I don't apologize as much anymore, because Spirit has told me that's what I need to do, is bring people out of this victim thinking, this low frequency, and help people. And sometimes I may not do it perfectly, but to help people in my atmosphere, family life, whatever, to think about where they are in their vibration, in their belief system, and then take it up to another level. Maybe like, you're not a victim. You're really not a victim. Even though you've had horrible things happen to you, it's not because of your race. It's not because, you're a bad person. It's because in reality, in my thinking, the universe wants you to see a bigger picture, just like the puzzles I've been working this year. You're putting these fragmented pieces, whether it's a traumatic event in your life, someone died, you got arrested by the police, attacked you, the police confronted you. That's a fragment of who we really are as unified human beings. And so every time these traumas happen, it's like really a time to pause. How does it feel? How does it feel? And that's what we're going to listen to in this song. How does it feel? And and ask yourself, what is the lesson for me? That's what Michael Jackson does so well in this. And then he embodies the vibration of this beautiful music he just wrote. So let us take a deep breath and prepare to be in a very strong healing energy with Michael in this concert in Moscow, where he embodies the music that he created and the words that he created. Because every song that this genius writes, he always made sure the music and the vibration, the 65 BPM, were in harmony with what he wrote. So take a look, and I'm going to do a disclaimer. Let me do a disclaimer real quick, because I got to play if for you to get the full impact. And you can go to YouTube and find this, but just for this moment, I want to just share how important this is. And I do not own the rights to this music or this concert. And this is all about, let me just see, here's a different one. I don't own the rights to this music or video that I'm playing. All the videos, audios, or internet photos displayed or played are for educational purposes only. And I'm going to let that ticker go while I show this to remind all the YouTube people and all that. But just take in the conflict resolution energy in this moment that Michael Jackson left us to bring us a healing that he needed at that time when he wrote this music. And now we can receive that healing by watching his movement, listening to his voice, and then listening to his backup singers echo what we all need to remember. How does it feel? How does it feel? That's the question. And I must say, Michael was dressed in a way that just seemed so sexy to me that was part of my enjoyment of this video. Just listen to the music startup in this is already leading to a very powerful vibration of healing. I was wandering in the rain, lost the life, feeling insane, swift and sudden fall from grace, sunny days seem far away, crimson shadow a little in me. Silence too, I wanna let it be. On and on it came. It's the rain you let me. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? When you're alone and you're cold inside. Abandoning my fame, I'm getting up the brain. KGB me on Friday mornings when we do our meditative joint rolling, Michael is demonstrating the heart torus that reaches out. That's why people in the audience get so excited, because his heart torus is amazing when he's making these movements. And that's why this song is so healing, because he created it with the motive, with the idea to heal not just himself but everyone in that audience.
How does it feel? 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 Hold me alone in the cold inside, like a stranger in Moscow. Lord, I must say, like a stranger in Moscow. Lord, I must say, we're talking danger. We're talking danger, baby. Like a stranger in Moscow. We're talking danger. We're talking danger, baby. Like a stranger in Moscow. I'm living lonely. I'm living lonely, baby. Stranger in Moscow.
Now, how is it that Moscow, a very cold place on the planet, with mostly white-skinned people, how is it that they love this man so much? Has nothing to do with his race, obviously, because he was still a black man in Moscow, and it was cold. So today we have very cold energy in the United States of America, very divisive energy in the United States of America. There's very few things that we're unified on. So when you look at a video like that and can understand why he affected so many people in such a powerful way because of his aura, because of his heart Taurus, and because, as we mentioned on Friday, conflict resolution has 4 elements in it that we should develop in our youth. Self-awareness. Did you see in that video of Michael the strong self-awareness in his performance? Now, when he wrote that, he was feeling pain, loneliness and pain and coldness, but when he got on a stage, that went away, and he had total self-confidence in his performance and the way he moved and the embodiment of all that energy and that 65 BPM vibration. Number 2, communication skills. Master of singing, and movement and communicating to the audience that I am giving you an embodiment of the music that I just wrote, the music that I just said I'm singing. I'm communicating. His communication skills were all all physical and musical. Emotional regulation. How does it feel? How does it feel when we want to raise the vibration of our youth so that they can avoid prison time and conflicts as the ones we played that play out too often, killing each other? Chicago, by the way, had more killings this weekend. What are they doing? What are they doing? What kind of music is being played in Chicago? That's what I would ask at this point. Is anyone consciously aware of the BPMs and the Hertz music that's being put out in Chicago? I keep saying in places like Chicago, where the violence occurs every weekend in large numbers, just go take a truck with a big megaphone and drive around playing Michael Jackson's music. If not, and all the high vibration music, just drive through the streets of Chicago and play this music, and you will see a change in the behavior of people, because there's obviously too little transformative music being played in Chicago, New York, all these places with high crime. And so emotional regulation, number 3 in the tools for conflict resolution. And number 4, genuine desire to resolve the conflict. We are not teaching our children the genuine desire to resolve a conflict, to not start a fight, especially if you are confronted with bullies. In the case of the Texas incident, they're saying that they're the two guys on one side were two bullies, and the other guy, instead of a genuine desire to resolve the conflict, it's a touch me and see what happens desire. I'm bigger, better than you. I can fight you. I got more power. Whereas if you're going to resolve this conflict and avoid prison time, that has to change. It cannot be the attitude of touch me and see what happens. No. In the spiritual soul purpose of why we're here, as the monks marched for 112 days, 2,000 miles, the message from the creator, the universe, cosmic, was mindfulness. Mindfulness in the way of breath work and starting your day saying, I am not going to have conflict. I'm not going to have a conflict today. I'm going to resolve all my conflicts. So you start out, today is going to be my peaceful day. That's a message to yourself and the universe. I'm going to resolve all conflicts today. I'm not going to get in any fights with people. I'm going to communicate effectively to whoever confronts me. I am going to be emotionally regulated, asking myself, how does it feel? How does this moment feel? That's the question Michael was asking in that music. How does it feel? He had to ask himself, how does it feel to be accused of something that you know you didn't do? Or how does it feel to be hated by so many people, attacked by so many people? And then what does he do? Writes a song. He writes a song with music, and he gives it to a sea of individuals who get healing. That's where we need to be in 2026. None of this touch me and see what happens. F around and find out. No, that's gone. It's more of, in this year, 2026, unity. Today is a number 1. 2026 is a number 1. We are swimming in alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and purpose. So we have a caller on the phone. Mama AZ, I believe. Are you there? Mama AZ, your mic is open.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I am so grateful, Dr. V, for this platform, for this particular podcast. It just takes time for people to get over the madness and breathe and just settle back and just be, the truth will come to you. And the reason that I'm saying this is because I'm talking about myself. That was very traumatic, having 5 days the judge gave me to get out, eviction, to get out in my wheelchair. And I still do not have a spot, but I trust. And I'm being shown that there is a major reason. Just like Ralph Smart said, this was created to test me. And when we go through tall things like this, it's a test to see how strong you are, to see if you're going to fold. Yeah, it's madness, and you get upset, but then it comes a time you have to say, what am I learning from this? What is the lesson behind all of this madness? Dr. V, that's another whole show. I've learned so much. And I just want to thank you for being a trigger. My daughter Shannon is calling, for being a trigger for not only me, but for others. Sometimes, but then I love you so much, I have to take a moment and step back and say, okay, what's up, Dr. V, to your spirit? And or whomever else that triggers me. Like the man, he couldn't handle me being there. So he had to do something else along with other people to eradicate me. And how I'm looking at it now is the Creator allowed that to happen and actually put that in motion because there was something else getting ready to go down that I didn't even need to be a part of. So to make a long story short, sometimes things happen to protect you. It may seem tragic, however, no, not necessarily, family. It's for protection, no matter how chaotic or horrendous it may appear to be. So you have to step back. You must step back and take a breath and say, okay, Creator, what's up? What are you wanting me to learn? And sincerely be with that. Thank us, Dr. V, for this platform. Because it's hard. It's hard when you sometimes been persecuted all of your life because you are thick. I don't like to use that FAT word because you're thick, or you're too dark, or you're too yellow, or something. People gotta judge everything or something. So it's up to you if you are going to say, okay, that's how you feel about it. And you have to have peace with that. And sometimes it's hard. However, it's to strengthen you, like Ralph Smart said. It's to strengthen you. They may want to knock you out. There have been times that I have had people come at me that wanted to kill me. And the Creator took control of that situation and saved me and got me through that because they hated me, jealous, and people are like that. Not everybody is for you. So you have to be mindful of the company that you keep. And it's not all about Caucasian people have this and that and the other. I'm going to use this word. No matter what flavor you're in, we're all niggerish acting sometimes. And that's a fact. So I appreciate you, Dr. V, for just being who you are. And it's not about race. It's about energy and control. Sometimes it may appear to be, and sometimes I flow that way. But once I step back and really analyze it, it may appear to be like Caucasian people, they are able to do this and able to do that. Not necessarily. It has to do with the energy that's flowing. And if people of color or copper colored people, if we don't come together and be cohesive with each other, especially women, we're going to continue to miss the boat. Happy Father's Day, brothers.
Mama AZ, you remind me of my 5-year residence in a tiny house on wheels, 160 square feet of tiny house on wheels on some property owned by what most people call a redneck. This guy was really a big teddy bear because I made a deal with him. I would clean his house and he gave me a reduction in my rent on his land. 9 acres. No, it was actually 11 acres of beautiful land that I was on. And I sat down with him one day, and he's just really kind of a sweet man, but he looked like a redneck, big belly. He's since passed on. And he said to me, niggers come in all colors. And I'm like, I just sit back and said, okay, that's something to think about. He said, I know a bunch of niggers who are not black. So he was looking at that word in such a different context that it opened my eyes to the energy behind the behavior of the N word. And so,
Dr. V, when I was 16, I had a job cleaning the offices at the high school that I attended, Phoenix Union High School. And I ran across this dictionary. I wish the heck that I had borrowed that dictionary because it was in the junk pile and full of dust. I looked up what nigger means. And I was shocked. At 16, I was shocked. Any ugly acting person. And I'm like, whoa. I was 16. I'll be 74 next week. And I'm like, whoa. And I think about that. And that gentleman that you just spoke about, oh my God. He was so right on the bullseye. I thank you, and I'm going to mute.
So that's it. And my Higher Learning Network, our sister Zelda says, hey, Mama AZ, so good to hear your voice. Thank you, my sister of another mother, for that greeting for Mama AZ. And then we got a few other comments. I believe this Dr. D says, great ideas. We all need to play a higher vibrational music where we go. Thank you, Dr. D. This is about consciousness, brothers and sisters. Awareness, that self-awareness, the first step in conflict resolution, can be translated to consciousness, awareness of who you are. If you have no consciousness of who you really are, kings and queens, for instance, I'm in a tribe of kings and queens. My tribal affiliation is all people who are conscious, goddesses. I'm not going to be approached by anyone with ignorance and get angry if they were to mention color or anything. I'm a goddess. I just make that clear to them. I'm a goddess. I don't need to. You don't need to confront me. My power is so great that you're wasting your time trying to offend me. But if you don't have that consciousness, that self-awareness of who you are, your power, you're going to be fighting, bringing out knives and guns and having all these traumas going on in your life, and you won't have peace for a while until you reach the level of consciousness, self-awareness. And just like my sister, Dr. D, and Zelda, we have consciousness in knowing that our behavior, what we say and do, is so important. And Dr. D says that's why I play my music on my car to change the vibration to higher, powerful frequencies. I seen people change that attitude. Yes, 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 yes. This is where we need to go in the rest. We're halfway through 2026, the year of one, the year of alignment with the creator, love, compassion, and music has to be the key. There's a reason Michael Jackson's biop is the number one biop now. He's in the movie has opened in Japan, and Japan's going to take it to 1 billion in sales for sure. So there's a reason. It's not coincidence, brothers and sisters, that this biop is taking over all records in the music industry or movie industry. Not just music biop, but movie industry. There is a reason, because we are being challenged. We're being called to listen to better music. And that's what the generation Z, X, whatever they are, the younger generation is saying. That's why they are in love with Michael all over again, because they find his music is much better than what they've been hearing of over the last 20 years of their life or so. And Dr. D says Michael music are messages to everyone for healing and wake up. He radiates love energy. That's why they attacked him. That's why they still have people trying to sue his estate for something they claim he did while he was alive. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Somebody has passed on in another dimension, and you still trying to get money out of their estate. We obviously see your motive. But he was all about love energy, which is the main energy we need right now. And Dr. D says, correct company needs to support you on love vibration. Thank you, Dr. D. Do you recognize love vibration when you see it, feel it, and hear it? That's why I played that music. That was strong. That's why I played Michael Jackson's performance in Cold Moscow. That outfit and those movements was just pure love embodiment energy flowing around, and people falling out and just acting like they have never heard anything like that. That's what we need to be able to raise. That's why people should listen to that concert and watch that movement, because that's pure love energy. That's the heart Taurus that we do on Friday morning with our joint rolling. And Michael Jackson was oozing with that heart Taurus with his movement and his words. And then those background singers, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? They're knocking on our hearts, knocking on our brains, knocking on our heart. How do you feel? How do you feel? That's the message. How do you feel? Before you pull out your knife, before you pull out your gun, Chicago, all you violent people in Chicago, ask yourself, how do you feel? Do you really feel empowered right now to stop the violence? Most of them no, because there's no consciousness there. So every person in Chicago needs to be blasting Michael Jackson's music or some kind of high vibrational music wherever you go. Don't even keep your window. Don't forget about air conditioning this summer. Just keep your windows down and blast your music wherever you drive, and you'll probably see a change in the violence in your neighborhood, in that city. But everybody's driving around. I don't have air conditioning in my car. It doesn't work. So I don't keep my windows up in this heat. Oh my goodness. We in the 90s right now. And so I'm driving around with windows down, and I'm going to be playing my music a little louder, because when I drive up on somebody who I can feel their bass and next to me, I'm like, okay, we're in competition here. I don't want to hear that. So let me just rev up Michael and drive with music, windows down, love energy pouring out the windows. That's what we need to be doing. That's our mission going forward. Roll your windows down, forget it, just sweat a little bit. It's about changing the non-love energy in your neighborhood, in your city. Let them know that you are a four-wheel driving love vibration energy moving around the city. And then you will see a change in your neighborhood and your environment. So that's our mission, brothers and sisters. Get on the Michael bandwagon, get on the 65 BPM, whatever music you can find, and start blasting it in your city and in your neighborhood where there's violence. Now, if you live in a very peaceful neighborhood, maybe they don't want to hear you blasting their music. But if you go in a neighborhood and you know that this is not the highest vibration and there's a lot of violence and there's kind of risky in that neighborhood, then you're responsible as a consciousness walking, living being to change the environment. And that happens when you talk differently, walk differently, love differently. I tell you what happened to me that was so beautiful today. My family got together at a taco place because my grandson's birthday is tomorrow. So we were celebrating his birthday at a taco place. So on the way back to the car, there was a homeless man sitting in a very dark-skinned homeless man sitting in a wheelchair. And my grandson was walking with me. And I'm always making friends in the homeless community. So I asked him, I said, how are you doing today? He said, not so well. My grandson's watching all this. And I said, what's going on? He said, well, I need a pillow under my leg. And he had a wheelchair. His leg was lifted up and I need a dry towel. I said, well, how much is it? He said it's $7 at that dollar store right there. So he was sitting right next to a dollar store where we were parked. I looked at my grandson, who had just gotten an envelope with $10 in it. And I'm like, okay. So I said, Jonah, do you want to buy him a pillow? And he said, yes. My heart, I wanted to cry. Jonah, Zelda, your son Jonah is changing rapidly. He said, yes. And I said, so I told the homeless, I said, we'll be right back. So we went in this dollar store. We found a pillow and a dry towel. The pillow was actually $9. It wasn't $7. I said, Jonah, you okay with $9? He said, I said, don't worry, I'll pay the difference. You give me your $10, I'll give you some change back. So we bought a pillow and a dry towel for a homeless man that was sitting outside. And he said, thank you. And my grandson, I could see the expression on his face change to a more humble young man.
Dr. V.
Yes.
Dr. V, Dr.
Yes.
V, Dr.
Yes.
V.
Yes.
I call that young brother a professor.
Yes.
He came to you for just this moment.
Yes.
Just one of the moments that you are interacting with him. I believe in that, professor. I do. And thank you for sharing that. And you put your arms around him and you say, Mama Bonfire gives you this hug because she loves you. And hopefully you and him can come and teach me how to play chess. I'm going to mute.
Hey, I beat him the last time I played. I finally beat that little boy. So he hasn't been practicing, no. See, I love that game because I'm always thinking, I don't want no Alzheimer's or dementia. And that's one of the activities that keeps your brain working, because you got to be watching that board. And so all you seniors out there, get a chess game going and work on improving your brain. Chess game, Zelda's doing bid whiz, so we just got to keep our brains active to avoid the diseases that man wants to put on us, because most of these diseases are man-made, and all we have to do is raise our consciousness and be involved in life, period. I am so involved in life now. I'm growing in my involvement in my grandchildren. At first, it was like, I don't want to have anything to do with them. They're too combative. They're too conflicting. And Mama AZ kept reminding me, well, you got a professor there. You got to just get in there and be his grandma. And I'm just seeing this most beautiful blossoming of these two souls that came here to be my grandchildren. And I'm so grateful. Our time at the beach was heavenly, because my granddaughter, last time we were at the beach, my granddaughter didn't want to go nowhere near the water. Her dad didn't want to get in the water. Nobody, me and my grandson, the only one in the water. This time, everybody got in the water. The waves were beautiful. The waves were mild. We were in there for an hour. We had the best time. Just the water was nice temperature. The partly cloudy. It wasn't beaming sun, wasn't burning us. It was amazing. So yes, Mama Az, I'm seeing these souls, and that's what we need from our black brothers and sisters, is to see your white brothers and sisters as soul beings, not your enemy. And you're not a victim. You're not a black person who's a victim. And we're going to have on Wednesday, I got Caroline Chang is going to come back and is going to be my guest to talk about oneness, the oneness
Dr.
that's
V.
missing in our lives from between the races, because all we are seeing is separation right now. That white man, that black man, blah 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 blah. And Carolyn and I are going to have a discussion on Wednesday about the oneness that we are really called to be in this time. Yes, Mama Az.
Oh my God. I think it was in 96 when I was there at Pettigrew State Park. I had a vision. I didn't know anything about the Baha'i faith. The vision said you must bring the Indian, Native, and the African races of peoples together. Never heard of Baha'i. And then when I went to the LGI in Hemingway, South Carolina, I had another vision on the Baha'i campus. And it was Louis G. Gregory and Chief Frank Foolscrow in my vision. And that is what the Baha'i faith. We are all one human family. And you're correct. We need to have a reasoning reasoning about this on a show, Dr. V, because it, like you said the other night, we're marrying everybody. Well, that's part of the Baha'i faith, because we have to learn from each other. We are so distorted with race and this and that and the other. How in the hell you going to be worthy if you do not learn, or if we do not learn from each other? And we're all one human family. That is the major reason that I became a Baha'i, because of that principle. And I'm seeing things a lot differently now than I did when I first, 50 years ago, moved to North Carolina from St. Augustine, Florida. So thank us, Dr. V.
So Michael Jackson is soul walking even now. Mama Az and I have talked about his grandmother is buried next to her mother, and that energy is strong in even Mama Az's community territory, that Michael Jackson's heritage is right there in her neighborhood. He's soul walking now. He's soul walking throughout the planet. And he's asking men especially, but women too, to be vulnerable as he was in that Stranger in Moscow, where he poured out his feelings. I don't know if you saw, did you see how he poured out his feelings in that video and that song? And then he embodied it in his energy. So the female male energy today is, quote, Father's Day, but there's a need for us to become more conscious of our female male, our zen energy, and our rotating energy of both male and female. It's not just about fathers today. It's really about even the mothers who play the role as fathers, and how they need to be supported all throughout this trauma that we're all in. And so female male energy seed planting production is always happening. Men planting seeds, babies being formed in the womb. And then when the baby comes out and the male person disappears, and then we have no support, and then we have all this trauma because nobody's learning how to resolve conflicts. So it's our responsibility, who are conscious and who are aware and who walk in our communities and our neighborhoods, to see the homeless man sitting there. What do you need, brother? Hey, we're going to buy you a pillow and we're going to buy you, and just make his life a little better, because it was just a sad scene that he had all his belongings on this wheelchair. You see that often, even in Orlando, people walking around with a shopping cart full of their belongings, moving from the library. So it's our job to recognize that. And my sister Zelda does a beautiful ministry in Chicago of honoring the homeless, who are, and a lot of veterans out there as well, which I feel a certain empathy toward, having had two male, my significant others were both veterans of the Vietnam War. They need help. They need our support. They need our support.
I give thanks to Sister Zelda. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but yes, one of my husbands did that for the homeless, and it was just so amazing. And I thank you. I thank Sister Zelda. Peace.
And there's a reason that some people are drawn to help the homeless more than others. For me, it's the veterans, the military veterans. Most of them have been in a war, and they end up on the street. So I'm just so sensitive when I go to Lake Eola place here to go walk around and ask these veterans or these homeless, what do you need? How are you doing today? You need prayer? Let me pray for you. And the same with Zelda. Zelda has had her brother who was homeless, and the tragedy that happened with him has moved her, and meeting the homeless people in his community and his family has motivated her to reach out. So we all have our reasons. And I understand why some people, my son walked right by this homeless man, and I'm standing there asking, and my son's like, man, I'm not, he's the type that's like, don't give anybody money. You don't know what they're going to do with it. That's his perspective. Fine, move on. My grandson rose to the occasion, said, I'll help you. 9-year-old versus a 45-year-old. Two different soul journeys, purposes in life. So my point is, let's just become more aware and conscious of our role in this journey. Soul purpose. Why are we here? Why are we here? We're here to vibrate higher. In 2026, our role is alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, wisdom. Let's get into alignment and do our thing. And those people who are not interested in raising their consciousness and following and having a more prosperous life, leave them alone. I'm learning to just pass them on, leave them alone, bless them, and keep going. But we have to do our part here, those of us who are here and listening to this message, and especially using the music to change the environment. I bet if you, and we've got, who is this? Brother Kwame Sunhor says, I am my brother's keeper. Thank you. Thank you. My veteran brother, who I salute, that I am his keeper. I am his connection. I am his sister. Whatever he needs, if he reached out to me and he needs something, I'm ready to help him out and do what's needed in his life, just as he would, I believe, would do for me. So thank you, Brother Kami, for that reminder that we are our brother's keeper, only if we're conscious, so unaware. Some people don't even feel that. My son doesn't believe that. He's too busy making corporate life his job and making money and buying things. That's it. He just bought my my grandson a game of some thing costs $300. It's not my child, and he believes in spending money on his children to make them happy. Yay. I'm so glad I'm in the grandma role. I don't spend too much money on them for gifts, because too many people. I'm in this week, last week, I'm helping Kwame, you didn't hear this maybe, but I have a job. I've been hired by a disabled veteran. She's a woman who served in the Air Force, I believe. She said, don't confuse Air Force and military, Marines. Air Force. She served 18 years in the Air Force, and I'm now helping her move her cluttered stuff into her hoarder house. She's paying me. I'm good at organizing. That's all I know. I'm in this storage pod's almost empty. I'm gonna have it cleared out this next week. She's hired me to clear out her clutter that she moved from another house into her parents' house now, and it's all packed in there. And I'm doing the work of just organizing and trying to help her let go, which is not happening much. She don't want to let go of nothing. She don't want to, even her mother's recipe cards in a box at probably 50 years old. She ain't letting go of those. I found a calendar that was 20 a calendar that's 20 years old, and it has pictures of dolphins and all that. And so, do you want to keep this? Oh yeah, I want to keep this. I'm like, but I'm thinking there's no room for it. And why would you want to keep it? Hands up. I'm just trying to do my job and not judge. But the sad thing is she's taking a lot of medication. She's a chain smoker and all these things I'm seeing that, and she's attached to her stuff. So I am learning to observe without judgment. It's not easy because my lifestyle is just so different, but I'm just trying to help her do what she asked me to do. I can't force her to do anything. I can't force her to let go. And that's what so many people get health problems, because they're trying to fulfill an empty void inside of them with their stuff. Lesson learned. I'm going to go this coming week. Tomorrow I'll be there at 9:00 at her house to help her empty this storage out of her driveway and into the house with all the other stuff. And I'm done. But I really have a lot of respect for her because she's a disabled military veteran. 18 years in the military. Her brain's not healthy at all. Her mind is gone right now. Chain smoking, on lots of drugs, and on lots of need for material things to fulfill what she lost in 18 years. And I believe, I don't know if Kwame agreed, most women in the military were sexually assaulted. SA, whatever we wanted. We don't like to say those are the R word. Most women I have met were sexually assaulted in the military. I have all the respect, empathy in the world, but I would never, ever, ever recommend a woman join the military. So, yeah. And Kwame says, what does he say? 18 years PTSD after effect. Yeah, sadly. But the beautiful thing about this experience for me is I'm making a new friend, and I'm learning to be more sympathetic and less judgmental, because that's all I can do. Even though I'm learning to let go of sadness, because this is the type of experience I'm having that causes pain in me. I'm so empathic with people who like this, who it's very sad to see them suffering. I started getting pain in my own body. And this is just another lesson, as we were talking about earlier, Mama. See, this is another lesson for me to learn how to let go of other people's pain that I can carry so easily. And I do tapping I'd have to almost every day. I've come home from this woman's house and tapped out any sadness. I come home with sadness, and I have to tap it out, even though I'm seeing this woman who's suffering and who is not balanced. And I said, I'm not going to carry the sadness. I'm going to just bless her with prayers for redemption, prayers for relief. 18, and she says, he said 18, that's post-traumatic stress disorder after 18 years, which probably included assault, SA, because that's what women experience when they go in the military. And what did Kwame says? Corporate making corpses. Yeah, exactly. Corporate making corpses. It's a reality that I'm grateful every day to be able to see this with compassion. And that's what the monks taught me, following them up the east coast of the United States for 2,000 miles and 112 days. Every day, their message was mindfulness. Take a deep breath and practice loving compassion. That's what we have to do, and not be pulling out knives to stab your teenage friend because he pushed you or bullied you. Stop that. We got to stop that. No more of that. No more of that. I'll be on here every time. Every time I open up this platform, I'll be talking about conflict resolution until we can see a shift in our young people who are being bullied, who are bullying and being bullied, and who are killing each other, especially in my town, Chicago. Oh, please stop it. Somebody, Zelda, Naima, you all got to play your music louder to roll the windows down and get the music playing in Chicago. Let's change the atmosphere as much as we can. That's my hometown. So thank you all for spending this time with me. Mama AZ, thank you as usual for being here and sharing your comments and your story. And let's do it. Let's just start today. Music, music, music for therapy, wherever you are. And Michael Jackson is one of my favorites. I'm going to be blasting him wherever I go with my windows down. So namaste, Satnam. And don't forget to join Zelda tomorrow morning, Monday Morning Mindfulness on YouTube and the Female Solution, because she's blasting her meditation energy and bringing us all to a beautiful Monday morning meditation and prayer. So thank you, Zelda. I really enjoy that every Monday morning. And Satnam to all my yogi friends out there. Ashe, Ashe, O to my beautiful synchronistic family. And Aho to all my native brothers and sisters. And always Shalom, Shalom. Love you all. Have a good evening. I'm going to go hug my grandchildren before they go to bed and just relax with some more Michael Jackson. I've been playing his music and I'm really feeling a healing with his music right now that I've never felt before. So I'm just open to new vibrations. Mwah. Love you all. See you on Wednesday with Caroline Chang. We're going to talk about oneness that's so needed right now in our country. Shalom.
Sa haba akapapa ar Penenza put the kukana sa ar Kahus tiki alemik sa ora azempa haka kepu katarak Adirka hen Tashiya washi wapasao kamun The fear who the kabili a kalat nun I kick the kapunja with pata sad I knew get a was look at papa garage I knew I went for good papa lag I knew I got pajua akakadad I knew kadua la kontradishin yet I knew kadua la mother was patarak I do feed pamarat the gahamos I knew panas na super do akanahos Look at put it in ha yeah, na cook